Hello and welcome to yet another cast, and I just realized I forgot to switch scenes. As per usual, there we are. OBS actually did it fast this time. But yeah, for your viewing pleasure today, I have a custom 6v6 played on Inox Mapgen. And we have team 1 up here in the north, yes, team 2 down here in the south. And let's get into player introductions. On the easternmost position for Team 1, we have in green and going Aeon and opening first land, Brnk and Sanity. He has already been featured before, fellow content creator and all that. Link to his channel will be down in the description, as per always. Then to the west of that, going Cybran in white and opening first air, we have Brukler PDM. Yeah, I don't know what else I want to say about that, I don't know. But anyway, to the northwest of that, also going Aeon and opening first land in the spec asset. In hot pink we have Isma 98. Then to the south of that we have Elton John in this purple, also going Aeon and also opening first land. Let me just check. Yeah, then to the southeast of that, going UEF in yellow and opening first land, we have Blazer Flasher. And finally for the northern team, to the west of that in orange and going Seraphim opening first land, we have Mythologist. Then for the southern team, on their northernmost position, in red, going UEF and opening first land and apparently second air, we have Karl Marx. He's probably gonna spread his socialist stuff throughout this game, I don't know. Socialist influences. I don't know where I was going with that. Anyway, to the south of that, in cyan and going Aeon, a lot of Aeons today, and opening first land, second air, we have Wild Coyote. I don't think that he'll be getting the Roadrunner today, but I may be mistaken in that. Anyway, to the west of that, in this military darker green, we have Yulfei going Seraphim and opening first land. Then to the south of that, in this lighter pink, or pink, we have Jip going Cybran and opening first land. To the east of that, in this dark grayish green, or greenish grey, however you want to call it, the color I have no idea what to call it properly throughout any cast. Yeah, going UEF and opening first and second air, we have Slicetron. And last but not least, in the rearback air position in this regal purple, we have Immortal D going Seraphim and opening first air. Right, that's per introductions out of the way. Bottom up, we have this point right here in the middle, bunch of reclaim, bunch of maxes, typical Mapgen stuff. So, yeah. Right, something I want to get out of the way a bit early, or earlier, after introductions now, since there is a bit of a slow time as it usually is right at the start. There wasn't a video out on Sunday because, yeah, didn't really feel up to casting to get it out in time. Not sure if I'm gonna be putting this out on Monday or on Wednesday as I usually do. You will know that as soon when it comes out, but I'm not quite sure yet while recording this. Right, but back to the game. We see here we can see a small raiding party out from Elton John, a Spirit and a Flare. But I don't think that those will be getting too far, as Yofis commander is already right here, and those will have to pass right by that, so I don't think that raiding party will find any success. There's also a Zilan and a Tham out from Yofi, so there's already something that may be used to raid as well out from them. Right. I hear some slight fighting. Okay, here we have a small transport, a small drop out from Mortal D that is going after the maxes up here. There is a passable way there, but you seem to need a transport to get these plateaus. So I don't think a drop there was completely necessary, especially since there might just be a run by or raid from Brnk against that. Let's look at commander upgrades. Currently advanced range going out for Brnk, normal range already finished. Gun going out for Marks. T2 out for Mythologist. And that seems to be it right now. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So, no further upgrades. Let's maybe take a short look at ratings as well, because I haven't pointed that out yet. And we're already quite a bit in. Ratings go from 700 up to 1700 by the looks of it, with Jib, Marks and Brnk all being at 1700, Slystron being at 700 and Elton John at just at 800. So about a rating gap of 1k between highest and lowest ranked players. Now also a gun upgrade going out for Wild Coyote. And Brnk about to finish the gun range upgrade, now going for gun speed, unsurprisingly. I would think that maybe at this point it would have been better to just go for normal gun range and the gun speed instead of waiting for the advanced gun range, but I am severely, I'm a lot lower rated than Brnk, so he probably knows better. But Brooklyn PDM going in with the commander, killing off some of these very lightly armored Auroras with their very, very low HP pool. Auroras being having a higher range but a lot less HP, thus being more kiting unit. So a lot of players will be aware. Also one of the reasons why Aeon is a lot harder to play for players that don't tend to babysit their units as much. Since with that you always have to keep your T1 tanks at range. And it's a bit of a theme that continues through the Aeon land stuff, or some of the Aeon land units as well, so yeah, can be a bit problematic. And what do I see here? What do I spy with my little eye? Nothing, because it's cloaked. Never mind. We have a Beetle infestation apparently coming out from Jib. Nice to see. Fire Beetle is severely underused in this game. Though I have to admit they are also hard to use, since they only get cloak, no stealth, meaning that they show up on radar. Wrong players. Yeah, they see that there's something there, the radar signature, they don't get line of sight because, well, it's cloaked. But with that, the Fire Beetle is really hard to use. But some players may have not seen the unit before, since it's rarely used, as I already pointed out. What the Fire Beetle is a mobile bomb. It's similar to the Mercy for the Aeon in the way that it is a suicide weapon, just on land and not on air. And it's basically... there we have it. You basically just detonate, when it dies it detonates, and can be used to kill off quite some stuff. This one getting a very nice amount of P-gens. 7 P-gens. Would be great to see some more use of those. Though, well, I'm sure we will see some greater use of that. Some foreshadowing there. Now, Brnk pushing the commander of Marks with that gun upgrade. Not sure, might be just out of range of Marks' gun upgrade, never mind. there is the range, but the ACU of Marks just being on unit priority. Not going for the ACU, and we have this annoying bug right here again with the unit selection. Second, let me just select some units in order to fix that, because that seems to be the best way to fix that in my recent experience with that bug. If you have any good idea on how to properly solve that, please leave it down in the comments. It would be very welcome, and I would greatly appreciate the information. But back to the game. I also think that I forgot to change my zoom speed. Wait a second. Yeah, my zoom speed is still at the setting that I usually use for play. Oops. Right. I usually have it a bit lower for casting, since that way I'm assuming won't be quite as frantic. It's gonna be a bit slower generally. And yeah, maybe a bit less nauseating, because I understand that a large amount of zooming can be disorientating for some people. Though in Supreme Commander it is basically the primary way to navigate on the map. Stuff going out for Brnk. Ooh, never mind, I was about to say that they pushed out quite aggressively, but no they didn't, because they are part of the Northern team, not of the Southern team. I just can't see the teams properly, I guess. Though we do see a very aggressive push out from Yuffie with a gun ACU. Currently threatening the space of Blazer of Lasher, who is currently going for some triads, since they did get T2 on the ACU. Though a singular triad will not do well against an ACU. Especially not against a gun ACU. A few overcharges and that is gone. I was about to say, does Yuffie actually have overcharge? And yes, they do. They did just overcharge, though it did go into the factory and blocked that, so not too effective. Let's see, Mythologist going for gun now as well. They did go T2 and they have some... put some defense up there. They also have T2 in general also for land production. Though at 11 minutes he would expect T2 land to be out. But we also seem to be there also seems to be a T3 air out by Immortal. And currently also out from Isma, though I believe that they are currently a bit behind still building their P-Gen, and thus will still take some time to start their T3 air production. However, that is a very big threat to the ACUs that are still at the front. Notably Brnk and also Isma, since they don't even have any T2 army for flag or something like that, or mobile shields with them. And also ability upgrades, so these commanders are easily targeted by strat bombers and the likes. And right now there isn't really anything that can counter those. So both Brnk and Isma needing to be very careful. But on note of T2, I currently also don't see any T2 production out from Brnk. There is a T2 HQ that is currently just building T2 energies. I don't know if Brnk just forgot about them or what that's about. I think he might have, because I think that's on a repeat build. Yep. But there is T2 spam being produced out from Marks. Or Karl Marx, or however you want to call them. So that is going to be a major disadvantage for Brnk right now. Looking at Tech 2 land spam already coming out against him. Currently only having T1 production, and okay, he realized that he had these entries and started building a P-Gen with them. Okay. Well, never mind then. Royal Coyote going for the advanced range that the Aeon got. And Brnk now seeing the exact thing that I was almost expecting to happen. Being pushed by a T2 army with that commander and some air, though it is only T1 air. That did the sniping. And thus going down to a combined attack, combined arms attack from Marks and Immortal. Immortal providing some bombers that definitely did quite a bit of damage there. But at around 40 minutes with that, we have our first ejection, and that for the northern team. And there are Beetles collecting right here. Would love to see those being utilized. Though they are in radar coverage and thus are currently under fire. And quite a few have already detonated just in general in this area. Maybe there was a firebase, I don't know. Okay, I completely missed that Isma apparently also went down to Marks, to push for Marks. Again, something that I also warned that could happen with the lack of T2 at the front. Though we do see T3 Ibron Air now out from Brnk, with currently only some bouncers. With the heavy use of T1 bombers, flag would probably be better. But there are also bricks being produced. And those will definitely prove to be an issue for Marks. So let's see how it looks on this side. Still more Beetles building up. I think that the northern flank will probably be calming down a bit now, though while Coyote is pushing along the pond and sending some places over the pond. I really don't want to miss these fire beetles being utilized. And I suspect that they may be used to very, very great effect. I guess they will probably just take out this firebase right here, or this position. Or try to take it out at least. Yep. They are going in, and three maxes, three T2 maxes, radar, PD. Right, I guess this factory just got. No, I didn't get control Kate. There are some weapons right here. I just took it down as well, and I think those will now also take out the last max that survived. So those fire beetles just taking out the entire base. Was it mass efficient? I have no clue, because I have no clue how expensive fire beetles are. I guess we can just check that for a moment. They cost 190 mass, so probably it probably was mass efficient to take that out. But again, very unusual, and well, you really don't see melee units used in this game because, well, other than the fact that there aren't really any good, that melee isn't really well implemented system, and thus most units don't really have anything like that. With the exception of the fire beetle that has it as its main gimmick that it just detonates. It's also, the fire beetle is really hard to use due to the fact that it does show up on radar. And so you rely on your opponent not having radar coverage wherever you're utilizing them. Or not, or just not having any proper defenses against them. But we now also see some tier 3 coming out from Mythologist who inherited Brnk space, who is now producing T3 out of that. I think I just doubled that T3 stack, but whatever. And Brnk seems to have inherited the airbaits of Isma. Though Mythologists with that now microing 2 fronts. That can be very, very hard. Advanced Nano now going out for Yorfe, or Yorfe. I think I've pronounced the name every time I said it differently. Because I don't know how to pronounce it properly. But going Advanced Nano, so not wishing to be sniped, I guess. That with that upgrade, the ACU will be really, really hard to kill. And currently still only producing T2 by use of it. Though we can now also see some trebuchets out from Jib, who is using them to create effect, I think, in dealing with the fire base that has been erected up by Blazer of Flasher. And there are also some bricks right there. How does T3 for Marks look? There is T3 and that factory is building Force. Though that is going to take a while till the Percival finishes. Is Karl Marx currently stalling? No. I guess it's just a thing that Percy's takes some time to produce. But with that, these Harbingers will get in behind the base and I think also do quite a bit of damage. Yep. Okay, a lot of resistance put onto that factory. But that will still take... I still think that Harvey will do a lot of damage before it's taken out. Small attack here, and I think there were fire builds utilized right here. There was a short EMP flash, so it probably was, since fire builds also cause EMP with the explosions. But with that, Mythologist has to be very, very careful. Other than the fact there's also a gun ACU currently opposing them. And if the fire is not focused onto the Beetles, then those will be they will be simply deadly. God, I'm really struggling with my English today for some reason, or generally talking. I completely missed that there was a large round buyout from Yofi, though mostly at T2. There are some Harbingers out from Elton John that are mopping them up. Yeah, again, really struggling with my English today. Yeah, I don't know. We'll probably get better for the next casts again, since I'm getting back into my talking flow, something like that. But looking at the base of Elton John, there is actually also a GC now coming out. That will be one of the early experimentals this game. I think that may be the first experimental, and down there in the middle we just saw that Jib was trying to cheat. How evil. I mean, cheating in multiplayer games, that's just not acceptable. Anyway, we have a Stone Ager out from Slicertron. So, standoff technology against experimentals by the looks of it right now. But I can't see any experimental currently under construction from the Saffron team, so the GC from Elton John will be the first one to actually... I think they relocated where they were going to build that, so... Anyway, I think it will still be the first one to finish. Serenity is being used by Wild Coyote right here to just harass the space. Though, since there isn't any T2PD, T1 RT would probably do the trick as well. But Serenity is just having higher range, just being funnier to use, I guess, or easier, especially with the use of bricks and stuff like that right here that are that do provide somewhat high range and will easily deal with the one arty that could be used. And I have this bug again. Yeah, I don't know. It's currently only one unit, so I can ignore it. Still a bit annoying. But whatever. I hope that they fix that soon. And I've noticed that I don't appear to be the only caster currently struggling with that bug. Or that noticed that bug, so... it probably will be fixed at some point. And unit switch, I don't know how that works. I'm confused. And Brnk built an experimental. I completely missed that Brnk was apparently building a monkey lord. So Elton John's GC not going to be the first experimental. Though if that monkey stays AFK like that, it might be the first one on the front line. But who knows. It will probably be moved very soon, since I just suspect that Brnk was paying attention to other stuff and thus didn't notice it finish. And yeah, it was given a movement order to this firebase. Another run by around the side here. And apparently an attempt from Brnk to go for Navy. I imagine that some cruisers or even UEF battleships could do some... wait, that's... I was thrown off by the UEF units, but that's Cyprus, so no battleship. And no cruise missiles. Never mind. I mean, Salem's could probably still be very effective. And I mean, Cyprus battleships also quite potent with their decent range. Not quite at UEF levels, but still quite good. I think it's some. I think this down here is some sort of build queue from something. I don't know what though. Sorry, had to mute there for a moment because I had to sneeze. But game turning a bit more static by the looks of it. There are some clinkhammers now out from Placer of Lasher in the firebase right here in the back. And those will definitely make the use of RT and similar stuff very, very hard for Jib. Due to that high range. But there doesn't seem to be too much PD, so this base would be very easily pushed, I think. Might even be used for fire beetles. But no, do they actually have radar coverage of that area? Let's just check. Yeah, okay, there's radar right here, so they would be aware of those bugs coming in, those beetles. And there seems to be something planned, as there is a sizable force right here. But I also just realized you could probably solve the issue with the fire beetles if you move them up with the Zevers. But if the Zevers would show up on line of sight, they would definitely cover the radar. They would still provide the radar cell for the beetles, making at least those invisible. Though I'm not sure if the beetles might be faster than the deceivers. That would cause a lot of annoying micro. And apparently the monkey pushed up and killed Wild Coyote. Well, I guess it's not too surprising. And right, I think this is on partial share since the units died, but the base got lifted over, which was of course also very unfortunate for Karl Marx, as there was a halfway done GC. But what Porsche does, as I already explained many times in previous casts, is that it gifts over the economic structures and units while killing all combat units. And while I was talking about that, I just noticed at the time, but was talking about other stuff, the Beetles of Jib pushed up on Phaser of Lasher, taking out the ACU and killing it with that. Since they do cause quite a bit of damage, and there were just too many for the ACU to defend against. But that also dealt with the RT. However, the GC for Elton John is finished, and it is pushing south now. And I don't think there's currently anything out from Jib and Yofei to deal with a T4. More specifically a GC. GC being very good at mopping up armies with its tractor claws, as demonstrated right here. Just sucking up the units and quickly disposing of them, which is really, really potent when dealing with T3 armies, or armies in general, but it becomes especially problematic with T3 since you have a lot of DPS put into a single point, in a single unit. Honestly, it would be interesting to see how that does with fire beetles though, since those would technically cause damage to the GC when exploding on the claw. Or well, when exploding after dropping to the ground. But I also guess that against roughly 100,000 HP, that a fire beetle wouldn't be too effective. I don't know how much damage the fire beetle does, but it's probably not doing nearly enough to be a viable option against GC. But with the push of the monkey right here, Brnk was actually able to push down south, now threatening the base of Yofei and taking out Nexus with those bricks. Yofei desperately trying to throw up some T2PDs and getting something done with that. But the monkey now just simply pulling back and going into the base of Immortal, who seems to have fallen far behind on the air game. Right, reason for that may be the nuke launcher, since they also have a nuke launcher. So 2 nuke launchers for the southern team. How does SMD look? Currently 1 for Karl Marx, and that's the only one. The lowest rated player of that team being the only one who remembered to build SMD. And in 30 minutes building SMD is generally a recommendable idea, I'd say, since it's generally good to have at that point. The solution for Jib to deal with the problem seems to be to get in some fire beetles, and in this case it's actually really effective since there is no radar coverage. There aren't any spy planes or something like that flying overhead, and I guess there is just no omnis, so the fire beetles can just run in and detonate themselves against the bricks without being fired upon, which could be used to great effect against the Monkey Lord. Brnk finishes another experimental, this time it's Maglev. And there's also a GC out from Mythologist, so I think that I don't think this is looking too great for the Saturn team right now. GC coming out from Marx, nuke launched from Immortal, right before the nuke launcher died. That seems to have loaded just in time, and it's launched as a PD nuke. Trying to get the Monkey Lord, I guess. but the ACU of Mortar goes down to the Monkey Lord. The nuke did not land in time. However, it did actually kill the Monkey Lord in the end. So it worked at least partially. At the same time, a experimental finish for Jib. It was actually the second one. There is already a Monkey Lord out. So Jib now sitting on 2 Monkey Lords. And dealing with a push out from Elton John, who now in the later stages of the game is actually being quite aggressive, playing quite nicely. They didn't do too much in the early stages of the game, I think. But now that they have gotten up, they are doing a actual decent job, so that's nice to see. Even as a lower rated player. But Karl Marx now going for a... now having finished their own GC. And pushing up with that. Trying to reclaim this plateau that was once controlled by Wild Coyote. And there currently does not seem to be too much opposing that, so that will most likely just break through. Right here in the south, however, Elton John seems to be breaking through with a push of Harbingers, some Lobos, some Auroras. So basically a mix of T1 and T3, though there are also some Obsidians. And even some Serenities. Again, Serenities being used. Also, something important to point out that I think some players tend to forget about the Serenity. Unlike the other T3 mobile arties, it does not need to deploy, meaning that it can fire while on the move. The T3 mobile arties of all other factions need to stand still and deploy first. Was about to say something about that also applies to the mobile T4 artillery, but to be fair, no one uses the Scathers as a mobile artillery. Hello, Korn. And either I just noticed too late or my chatbox is broken. Because that's not visible. I have to look at that after this cast. However, let's get back to the game. Jib has successfully repelled this push right here with some with a Monkey Lord, and I guess also with some broadswords out from Slicetron. Ooh, where did the nuke go? Where did Slicetron's nuke go? Ah, there it is. I'm just blind. And I can't see if it's loaded or not because... bugged. It's not. And they are stalling quite heavily, so I guess that is why it's, the reason it's not loaded. Though they are currently also going at the same time for a Novax. Going for all the standoff tech, I guess. Already forgot again what I was about to talk about. Right, there is also currently a SAR going on for Brnk, so I guess I can point that out. And a land push going on here where a GC out from Marx just died. Probably the second one since there's already a GC wreck right here. And we see a GC out from Mythologist that is about to die. And a Megalith that is currently firing upon these Perseus that were accompanying the GC of Marx. However, there are also bricks out from Mythologists that are dealing with those as well, supported by the Megalith fire. And Yurfei has finished a chicken. So all the experimentals now. But looking at this map control does not look too great for the Southern team right now. Also, I think these maxes right here just forgotten and forever staying at T1. But at the note of maxes, let's take a look at economies, and Team 1 currently around 300 mass ahead of Team 2, with 1500 mass income versus 1200. So Team 1 not only ahead on map control but also on eco. Which shouldn't be too surprising since map control tends to correspond into eco as well. Since more map control means more maxes. And also more safe maxes means that you can upgrade those more. Or that players are more likely to upgrade them. Technically you can upgrade a max right at the front line, but it's not advisable. Since those have a high likelihood of just dying. But Megalith out from Mythologists being used to great effect by just having it on an attack move, meaning that it will stay at maximum range until, or it will move up until it gets a unit into range, then fire upon the unit, and as soon as the unit dies, move up again until the unit is in range again, staying at maximum range if the enemy is pushing you. However, there is a Fatboy out from Marks, and the Fatboy does have a higher range, meaning that it will be able to just pepper the Megalith from a distance. Elton John finishing another experimental. Somewhere. Right here. Unsurprisingly, it's another GC. And the donut finished. Air control right now, by the looks of it, firmly in the hands of Brnk, with 156 ASF against Slicetron seems to be currently managing air for the Southern team. Just 18 for Slicetron. So definitely a good call to go for air experimentals, since those can be used quite effectively right now. Saying that, there are banks of T3AA that have been thrown up by Yulfe, and probably also by other players. So it will probably not. So the cell will probably be shot down if it tries to be aggressive. But nuke for Slicetron does finish, and let's see where does it go. Also no SMD in this base, and still no SMD up here, so... Wait, no, there is one right here, which is not loaded right now. So if the nuke goes deep, it will just hit the aggregate. And it seems to be going deep. Though I completely missed that there was another SMD right here, which was loaded. Thus the nuke did not actually land and did get shot down. Now I just had a notification that another experiment finished. I guess a chicken was gifted over to Marks. And they just finished another experimental. Ah, right, a GC. Though there is now also again a pretty notable push out from Elton John, which is currently but that is now faced off by a Megalith, as well as the two Monkey Lords out from Jib. Meaning that there's a lot of experimental firepower to counter that. And it probably won't be too effective. Up here, Chicken getting into a scuffle with the GC. Currently also being supported by the Fatboy in firing upon that. Though Chicken focusing its attention and going down. But there's also another GC now coming up. 4 marks, and the Lightning Storm makes it really stupid to push again, to push in this position at this moment, as that will just cause unnecessary losses. And there appears to be another Megalith out from Mythologist that is currently building that is currently supposedly a grab egg. Right, I think it's currently reclaiming the unit underneath. I have not seen a grab egg laid ever, so would have loved to see that, but never mind. Never mind, Morphologist decides better of it. Come on, every time I think there's a grab egg about to be laid, I just want to look at it and then the players decide, nope, how about we don't? I mean, I'm no better because every time I try to use that ability, I just realize how slow building with the Megalith actually is, and I just don't do it, and... Well, Jib seems to be thinking better of it, actually laying the grab eggs. And thus unleashing a bunch of T3 NGs. So we can actually watch the eggs being built and opening up right here. Just dropping out singular T3 NGs right now. So at least something. But I just lost the saw. Never mind, there it is. It's moving up north again. Could probably be used to a very great effect against Jib, since they don't seem to be having that much, since they don't seem to have too much AA. Though never mind, there is a lot of lag. And while it isn't as effective as bouncers or static T3 AA against a Tsar, it is still quite deadly due to its slow movement speed. The Novex for Systron seems to have finished. And let's see, where's the satellite? Ah, it's right here. Currently just picking off stuff. Already 31 units killed and around 3k mass. Just going around picking off PDs and Nexus, I guess. Probably also pouring in some damage into units. As the Novex does. And we see a battle right here between a few spiders and spotted by Megalith against a chicken and 2 GCs. A chicken causing quite a bit of damage to the Monkey Lords, not too surprising as the Monkey Lord has an inferior... really can't talk today, so sorry. The Monkey Lord does have a inferior range to the chicken. And also the GC on that note. But there is now also a chicken out from Yofei that is bringing in additional damage, and the GC's just scooping up one of the shield generators, which counterproductively can actually be very, very problematic for the GC, as that shield bubble still remains. Now, there was another nuke out from Slicetron, and that seems to be going somewhere here. Maybe for this base. Maybe it was also meant as speedy nuke, though... Okay, yes, it seems to be going after this base. Where a Owasa was started, though it will obviously not finish with the nuke landing. Well, never mind, it was outside of the blast radius, and most of these engineers did actually survive. But all the defenses and stuff like that in this base did die. Let's see, how's the other side looking? I'm surprised that there's no actual Navy production. Especially out from Yofei, as I could imagine that Seraphim Navy could be super effective with its cruise missiles on the cruiser. But there were apparently 2 donuts dropped on Marks, and I completely missed that, as I am one to do. Mark's currently very happy about the reclaim, I guess. And At a count of 3 fat boys. Also now with a shield preset Zerkus, which might not seem too impressive, but they have a whopping 52,000 HP on these shields. That's more than double the HP on the Fat Boy shield. And let me do some quick math. Over 3 times the HP you get on the stationary T3 shields. 17k, yeah, I think so. Should add up. Should. Yeah. Let's just say it adds up. Even if it doesn't, I don't care. And more fire beetles, which will be assassinating some T3 Maxes by the looks of it. Currently being organized to go for a more effective strike, and never mind. Plan seems to be breaking through these walls right here. There's quite a bit of a gap. The solution for Jib seems to be to just detonate one of them to take out all these walls actions. And with that, these beetles can now just move right here through the back and engage the ACU. Though, as a strike bomber. And there is also the T2 transport that will most likely be utilized to evacuate the ACU. Some T2BDs now firing upon these fire beetles, though not very successful in doing so. And apparently there's also some Seraphim BD that is more successful since it does have a beam weapon, and beam weapons are generally better in dealing with these fast targets. Thus the fire beetles did not actually do any significant damage. But push continues here. Maglev coming in from Brnk. The chicken right here is about to die. It's no longer about to die, it did just die. And as I suspected, Elton John will be evacuating with that transport to get out of there. Though evacuating in this position does not seem like the best idea, and I guess they flew a bit too close to the sun, or the Uyana. God, Seraphim names are hard to pronounce. Especially for me, who is notoriously bad at pronouncing anything. Anyway, it just flew too close to those lightning tanks, I guess. And thus, the transport did get shot down and the ACU died. A second Novex now finished up for Slystron. Well, not only a second one, apparently also a third one, and a Scathers under construction. Going for the game ender. Though with the loss of Elton John, I'm not sure if a game ender is going to be finished in time to end this game. There is a emissary out from Mythologist, but that also currently does not have doesn't seem to have been doing too much damage at only 7.7k mass killed. I promise, normally my casts have are a lot better with more talk, with some better English and better talking, and not just me just having difficulty talking, like I'm having right now. SAR being utilized against this Monkey Lord, though the amount of AA and lightning tanks and stuff like that, it's just completely shredding this. The ASF also being completely shredded apparently by trying to provide cover for that. And thus both Monkey Lords do actually survive. This one with 83k mass kills, so very, very effective. Another nuke coming out from Slystron, who hasn't done too much in the direct ground department, but has taken up the priority of or has taken up the role of air player and is also going for some standoff tag that is starting to be rather effective in these late stages. And if you have teammates that can actually cover for you, I think it's not too stupid to go for standoff tag if your team, if it's coordinated with your team. And this seems to be one of the cases where it does actually work out. But Nuke did got shut down since it got just about into the range of this SMD. Maglev going down to Fatboy Fire. There is a lot of T2RT, which is usually quite effective against Fatboys. But I suspect that the use of these shield cycles, as well as just the number of Fatboys pushing up, makes it really, really hard for mythologists to actually kill the Fatboys with that RT. And just also behind that push, stationary shield gens being thrown up with the with those Zakus and also some T3 NGs that were probably built from the Fatboys. Slowly getting more shield generators and AA, PD, stuff like that. Basically creating a creeping fire base. And Northern team seems to have just given up now. Which, looking at this, fair enough. The Western Front just collapsed completely after a chip broke through and was directly threatening the base, the ACU and base of Mythologist, or the air base and the ACU of Mythologist, which was stationed here. So as most of the production capabilities. So I can definitely see that. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this cast. I'm gonna be back with more stuff like this. So if you want to be notified when those do come up, you can always subscribe. If you enjoyed, leave a like. Or don't. And yeah, if you have feedback, you can always leave that in the comments. Right, yeah. As already said, hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you again on a future cast or stream. This was streamed live on Twitch. Right, that was the thing I forgot to say. Yes, I usually do stream these live. Link to that will be down in the description. Just like the link to Brnk's channel, that I already pointed out. But yeah, hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you again in a future cast. Until then, bye.